Welcome back, F5 dads and players. And wow, I don't even know what to say right now. I was trying to decide if I should start this off crying or maybe laughing. And if you don't already know, yeah, you can already pretty much see what I have on screen here. Microsoft, you are killing me. You know, what I can tell everybody is, I think everybody here knows that I am a pretty diehard, hardcore PC gamer. But prior to that, I couldn't afford the best equipment when it came to PCs. So yeah, I always would buy a console. It was much easier to play. You didn't have to worry about making sure that all of your components fit, or the game would crash, or the graphics you had to run it at low settings, etc. So yeah, starting out. I remember back in 2001, I did buy the Xbox. I think everybody knows it. You always had the red ring of death. I think I did experience that at least once during my Xbox era, and but I still stuck with them. And I remember probably one of my favorite all time games, guys. Not gonna lie here, Mech Assault. Man, I would play that for hours. I can't remember if it was the Mad Cat or which mech it was, but I just remember hiding behind a hill, jumping up, firing two PPCs, and then fall back down, jump back up, and I just kept repeating it. Love that. And yeah, I did move into the Xbox 360, and eventually I even had an Xbox One. But then I migrated over to PCs. And the one thing I had always done is I stuck by them, especially buying the Game Pass. Back in the day, I thought that was a tremendous deal with what you were paying. I mean, you had access to the cloud, you had access to many great PC games that would come out. Rather than buying, I would simply use my Xbox Game Pass. I mean, you figure you would just buy, I don't know, 3 or 4 games, whatever, and pretty much you've met the same price that if you just did, Xbox Game Pass. So, yeah, I was a big fan until recently. And I think Microsoft is making a huge mistake. I think that they've gone now. I think that it's all about the corporate greed. And I totally is against. And I am against that 100%. I don't know about anybody else. But let's take a look at this. So, on screen, you can see Game Pass gets a major price hike. And you know what even kills me about all this is I think there is a video or two out there where there's a lady from Microsoft, and she actually stated that gamers have been asking for this. Yeah, I just want to fall out of my chair right now. Show me a gamer that would actually ask someone to charge them higher prices. Can't think of anybody out there who would say, "Hey, why don't you go ahead and pretty much give me the same?" Although they have slightly made some changes, but I will absolutely give you 50% more than what I'm currently paying. That is ridiculous. And for Microsoft to come out and say that with a straight face, that even blows my mind even more. And as you can see here on screen, you know, at one point, Microsoft even came about and stated in an announcement reminiscent of Phil Spencer's comments about how great things are looking at Xbox. The company turned around and laid off 9,000 people, said the Xbox team. It even continued saying, "We have the opportunity for Game Pass to help more players find the creators and the games they love." So they want to evolve Game Pass to offer more flexibility, choice, and value to all players. Whether you love day one releases, discovering hidden gems, or playing across multiple devices and screens to play on the Xbox, on PC, or the Xbox Cloud. The big thing that kind of kills me here is I'm going to pull up the different offerings that they have, and I can tell you, out of the three, you pretty much only have one option, and that would be the Ultimate, which in turn is the most expensive. I mean, they nearly raised it 50%. And actually, let me go ahead and pull that up now because I do want to show everybody here. So here's the plan that you can pick. You have the Essential, which is $9.99 a month, 50 games on the Xbox, PC, stream games, online console, multiplayer, play and earn up. Okay, whatever. Then you can look at your premium, get your first 14 days. Again, $15 a month. Now you get 200 games. New Xbox published games join the library within 12 months. You can stream the games with shorter wait times. Come on. What does that even mean? Shorter wait times. So let's see. It just depends on the queue. So you know what? If you decide to play at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're only gonna have to wait 8 minutes prior to that game coming live. But if you would decide to stream it on a weekend, say Saturday prime time, I don't know, we'll say maybe 7 p.m. Oh, yeah, that 8 minute that you occurred during 2 o'clock in the morning, it now only becomes 94 minutes. So again, what does that actually mean? I can't stand when people say stuff like this because the reality is you don't know what it means. It's all based on demand. I mean, we've seen that with, many theme parks. You look at Disney World, heck, even Cedar Point, which is probably one of my all-time favorite places to go. When they offer what are those passes where you can skip the line and only have to wait a certain amount of time. Coaster passes. I can tell you right now, if you would go, say, maybe a Monday afternoon, you might have to pay $80. You go on a Saturday afternoon, same time, it will now be $150. So this on demand, I do not agree with. I hate it. And then finally, when you look at the ultimate, $30 a month. This is pretty much your only option. You're talking 500 games again, so you're jumping what, nearly double the games. All of your day one games, you only got one option. It's right here in the ultimate. If you would choose the essential or the premium, guess what? You don't get the day one releases like you used to before. Part of their justification is this: it includes EA Play, and the Ubisoft Classics. Now, I think EA Play was recently added, or maybe it was added. I don't know, a year ago. Again, don't quote me on that. But Ubisoft Classics, really? What am I going to go play? Ultima Classic? And again, no disrespect to anybody who loves that game. The original Wing Commander, Wing Commander 1, 2, again, Vexel graphics. Again, I'm not saying that is the case, but I will state though, Wing Commander 3, love that game. But again, I can get all of the games for probably $2 or all the way up to maybe $7 or $8. Really, you're going to increase my price nearly 50% just so I can get the classics? Come on, Microsoft. That's ridiculous. And then, I will state I'm not a Fortnite player, but I think probably your greatest savings would be this Fortnite crew that would be coming here in November. I'm not a Fortnite player, but even talking to some Fortnite people who do play, I think they actually stated this is a great deal because I think that right now, I guess if you pay a monthly or whatever they do, again, I think you can now cancel that and kind of cover it here under this Fortnite crew. And again, stream games that are best quality with the shortest wait times. Okay, so you're going to charge me an extra 50% so I can now stream your game on the cloud at its best quality. Again, what does that actually mean? You're going to allow me to stream it at 4K? What if my internet can't handle it? So there's a lot of things that play into this. Just because you give me the option to stream something at the best quality doesn't actually mean I can even take advantage of it. Now, I know for me, I am a 4K player, especially on my PC, so that may benefit me. But again, shortest wait times. Okay, that again is going to be based on the fact that I'm paying you more money, so you can give me a priority in the queue. What if a day one game happens to come out, and I get 10,000 people? Again, that's small, but I'm going to use a number here, guys, so don't quote me. But I use 10,000, and now all of a sudden, you give me the shortest wait time, so I get in 30 minutes. Again, based on what? So I'm not a fan of this at all. One of the things I did see, and let me pull this up here. So again, let me go back here. Essential, a joke. Don't even buy it. Premium, a joke. It's not even worth it. Your only option is the ultimate. And again, I still think that that's ridiculous for what they're trying to pay or what they're trying to charge. But let me flip over because I do want to say something else here. Yeah, okay. No, actually, let me skip. Oh, blames the Activision deal. So, one of the things I do want to touch base on, I think we already talked about how Xbox had a layoff of a certain amount of employees. So here's another thing that I definitely found interesting. I did pull this up. Xbox raises Game pass prices. Former FTC chair blames the Activision deal. So Lena Khan, former chair of the U.S. Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, stated that the recent layoffs at Xbox and the price increase of Xbox Game Pass are basically a predictable consequence of the Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Um, so they actually stated that the FTC at one point tried to block that, and it was a $69 billion deal that did fall through. They actually had stated at one point, arguing in court, that it would reduce competition and harm consumers, especially in the cloud gaming and the subscription sectors. So in July 2023, federal court rejected the request to suspend the acquisition, allowing Microsoft to finalize it in October of that same year. It does appear the agency later appealed, but in May 2025, it officially withdrew its opposition, closing the case. So as you can see, that although this took place back in 2023, this is kind of popping back up because Khan, who stepped down as the FTC chair in early 2025, is almost coming back out and saying, "See, I told you so." Because they're arguing that the layoffs at Xbox in recent years and the higher pass price are direct effects of the acquisition, along with the negative consequences for both consumers and developers. So this got called out, basically saying, "No, that is not the case. This isn't going to happen." The reality is, it's hearsay. I mean, there's no facts to state it, but if you really look at the timeline of the events and you look at everything that's happening, the layoffs. Now all of a sudden you look at the acquisitions that's currently happening, and now they decide to raise prices. And I'll be honest, but I'd have to check it. I don't think this is the first time they raised prices. So now you're looking at a 50% price increase. Of course, you're going to have people, talk about the tariffs, etc. Again, I have no facts around that, so I'm not even going to touch base around that. But yeah, I think there's a lot going on. I guess my take, when you truly break it down, do I think Microsoft is losing money? Yeah, I do. You think about, if I'm paying, again, we'll just say $20, and that day one game comes out and I really like it, chances are I'm not buying it. I'm only going to do the $20 per month. Versus, you know what, that same game, if you didn't offer it, it might cost $70. So I do think Microsoft did take a hit, but I also think that they drew a lot of fans, and I think people were praising Microsoft. And come on, anybody who says Microsoft isn't making money, I think is kind of ridiculous. But what does Microsoft go and do? They turn around and basically screw over the consumers, and now they raise the price. Do you think it's still worth it? I don't know. I factor it in with, say, what is that, $30 a month? I think you're looking at approximately $360 a year. I think, with games pricing about $70, what are you looking at? You'd have to buy basically five games throughout the year. That was offered on Xbox Game Pass, especially if you cancel it. So now you're looking at five purchases. And again, that's sitting around the $70 price range. Do you plan to buy more or less? I mean, I guess it really depends on the person. I think sometimes people get comfortable and, they're just saying, well, what's an extra $10, $15, in the overall budget? I think it's a fair point. But when you break it down, you got to push back on these companies, because you know what? What's not to say in 3 months they decide to acquire another company? Now they raise you another $10. So now obviously you're sitting up to $40. So again, it's not about the money per se. It's really about the principle. Why do you keep doing this? And I think that's where a lot of people, it's ticked them off. So, I think one of the things I did see here is, I think on Google, when this did occur, I think it was the number. Yeah, it says right here, there were more people Googling how to cancel their Game Pass subscription than ever before. In fact, I think at one time it did even crash the site. It could have been the Xbox cancellation site. I'm not saying Google, but it says right here, Xbox community is responding to the changes to the Game Pass. As Google searches on how to cancel reach an all-time high. Comes as the highest tier. Game Pass Ultimate was hit with a 50% increase. Basically, everything that we're saying here. It's now going to set you back $30 a month. According to Google Trends, searches for Cancel Game Pass have never been higher. On the graph, you can see a steep increase as soon as news of the price changes was revealed, suggesting that many have decided that $30 is just too much to pay for the service. As a graph on Google Trends, Cancel Game Pass searches have reached the highest point that it is able to track. If the data is accurate, this is also higher than it has ever been in the Game Pass's lifetime. You can see the trend; it was kind of stable here, and then bam, that announcement comes up, and it just spiked. It's not too surprising. Shortly after the new prices were revealed, yeah, here it is. The web page to cancel Game Pass subscriptions kept crashing and slowing down, presumably due to the influx of the traffic. Frustrating players further, some Xbox owners were greeted with a full page ad for the new Game Pass tiers when they booted up their consoles. True enough, Ultimate now grants subscribers access to Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Plus Classics, but few see that as a win here. Look, for me, that's not a win. That's a joke. I don't even play Fortnite Crew or Fortnite, and I guess the Crew must be this additional option that they have. And Ubisoft Plus Classics, again, we already talked through this. I think that's a joke. I mean, I probably could buy all of their classics for less than the $360 they're going to charge me. But again, I didn't actually price it out. But the reality is how many of those classics are you actually going to play? I can tell you I'd probably play none of them. But you're now going to charge me 50% more. And as I already stated, if you wish to downgrade to a less expensive tier, then you will lose access to day one releases. What? So again, we already kind of talked through this. When you look at the other two available options that they're giving you, to me, worthless. Not even. Why would you even do it? So I think what they're doing is not only did they raise the prices on their consumer base and their gamers, but now they're kind of forcing everybody's hand. Why would I go and do a lesser option or the first two options and lose all my day ones? That that's a joke. I'm going to turn on and buy the game anyway. So basically, what they're saying is, yeah, you have to buy the ultimate, or you're basically losing out on everything. So I would actually encourage any of my F5 dads and players, do not you buy any of those two options. In fact, if you haven't, cancel it right now. Now, I'm probably going to get a lot of questions around. Well, F5 dad, would you still stay with the ultimate? I know you currently have it. I don't know. I'm going to be honest, guys. I do like having access to all these games, but the other day I was kind of going through my library, and I was kind of looking, and I'm like, I really don't use Xbox too much. I mean, I think I have maybe 3 or 4 of their games installed. Like, I do love the MechWarrior 5. I do have that installed. I think I have the new Indiana Jones installed. But if I really break it down, I think I only have, like, maybe 2 or 3 games installed. So if I would just buy them outright, I would still be cheaper now, with the new subscription hike than actually paying the $360 a year. So I'm I I'm gonna go back and forth. I don't have a direct answer, for my fans out there. But I think when it comes down to it, yeah, I actually think I'm gonna cancel it. It's just not worth it. And I think anybody who would stay with it, unless they have a valid reason, maybe the Fortnite crew, maybe that could maybe keep you, paying the extra 30 because now you can cancel Fortnite Crew. I think that might make sense, but I think just, continuing with everything that you currently have and then, paying the price increase of Microsoft, I think that's ridiculous, and I don't support anybody who might be doing it. But again, as I already stated, if you were going to keep it, but you can cancel something else, then I think you can justify it. So with that, F5 dads and players, I don't even know what to say. Am I mad? Absolutely. I think they're going to take a major, major hit from this. And I think they're going to lose a lot of customers around the Xbox and the Game Pass and the PC Game Pass. Oh, yeah. One last thing I wanted to show everybody because I was laughing at this. Um, it's actually, oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, apparently to even frustrate players even more, like I told you, is shorter waiter times, or you get the best wait times. Check this one out. This is great. So as Game Pass prices get laughably high, Microsoft is reportedly spinning up a free version of the Xbox Cloud Gaming. But of course, you're going to have to sit through ads. Do I need to say more? Let's touch base on this because this is such a joke. Again, Microsoft already announced 50% increase. Where can I see this? Oh yeah, here we go. Microsoft says that the company has been running internal tests of a free ad-supported version of the Xbox Cloud Gaming with a public beta test and full launch plan. So it says the sources tell me the internal testing includes around 2 minutes, guys, of pre-roll ads before the game is available to stream for free through the Xbox Cloud Gaming. So, okay, hold up. So let's back off and let's think about this. So they didn't talk about the wait times. So if I'm paying them, I don't know what was the second tier, like $12 or $13 a month. Again, I'm still going to have wait times. So now you're going to give me a free streaming. Oh, but let's include 2 minutes of ads. What about my wait times? I guess if I'm sitting in a queue, all of your paid customers are going to get priority. Shorter wait times. Remember, now if you're going to have your best wait times if you pay the ultimate. So now I'm going to do the public streaming, and I'm sitting way at this kind of lower level. So now, okay, so let's think about this. Day one, or I don't know, some game comes out. I want to stream it. It's very popular. Connect on it. Congratulations, F5 Dad. You only have 7 hours and 49 minutes left. So enjoy waiting. Now, all of a sudden, I get down to that 7 hours and 48 minutes or 49 minutes, and boom, the game comes up, and now I get presented with 2 minutes of ads. Yeah, you talk about raging. I would absolutely rage. I'd probably crack a keyboard over my leg and throw it at the TV, or yeah, I wouldn't even know what to do if that occurred. But either way, again, a laughing stock, Microsoft. What are you doing here? Totally disappointed. I have always never been a fanboy, but I've always supported you when it comes to the Xbox, the gaming, and the quality of your games and the quality of your services. But this is a gut punch, and totally disappointed. So, in saying that, F5 dads and players, click the like button here. Um, subscribe if you haven't already. It definitely helps me out. And click the bell so you can see anytime new videos get posted. I typically will post videos on Monday and Friday. And I'd love to hear your comments. Do you agree with what Microsoft's doing? Do you actually currently have the service? And if so, are you going to continue using it? Or are you just going to cancel it, just like the influx of mass players are doing, and a good chance, myself included. So, as always, guys, hit F5, reset and reload. This is F5 Dad. I'll see you next time.